If you're a diehard Eagles fan, you know the off-season and in-season moves are what keep the excitement alive. This morning, Howie Roseman made yet another bold move, pulling off a trade that instantly shifts the defensive outlook for Philadelphia. Jaelan Phillips is now an Eagle, and on paper, this is exactly the kind of addition that could transform a pass rush that's been inconsistent, to say the least. The Eagles have had flashes of brilliance on the edge, but overall, the production from their edge rushers has been a glaring weakness, one that can't be ignored when you're chasing home field advantage in the playoffs. Bringing Phillips into the fold not only adds talent, but experience in a scheme he already knows, which is invaluable. Philadelphians have seen this pattern before. The front office doesn't just throw darts when it comes to trades. There's a strategy, a familiarity with coaches and schemes, and a careful eye on what each player can bring immediately. Phillips fits that mold perfectly. He's not coming into a completely foreign system. Vic Fangio, who knows Phillips' game intimately, has coached him before, and his recommendation carried weight. That familiarity allows him to plug in right away. And for a team like the Eagles, that kind of seamless integration is gold. It's rare to get a player who can step in mid-season and immediately influence the rotation without a steep learning curve. What makes Phillips so intriguing isn't just that he's scheme-ready. He's versatile. He can line up on the edge or slide inside, making him a matchup nightmare for opposing offenses. His burst, length, and athleticism allow him to pressure quarterbacks from multiple angles, and that's exactly what Philadelphia needed. The current edge rotation suddenly looks formidable, with Phillips, Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Josh Uche, Jix Hunt, and Brandon Graham all rotating. The unit has depth and flexibility. Each player brings a different skill set, creating constant stress for offensive lines trying to plan against them. You can imagine the headaches for opposing coordinators when every snap could feature a different speed rusher, someone who can collapse the pocket or push the run game back into the quarterback. And yes, there's the concern about injuries. Phillips has had a tough road with an ACL and Achilles tear in consecutive seasons. And while he's shown flashes of brilliance in college and the NFL, durability is always a question mark. Yet if you're playing the long game, the upside outweighs the risk. In terms of draft compensation, the Eagles gave up a third-round pick, but considering they still hold 2 other third-rounders, and the potential for a compensatory pick if things don't work out long-term, it's a calculated gamble. The Eagles' front office knows how to balance immediate needs with future assets, and this deal is a textbook example. Looking at the broader context, the NFC is stacked. Teams like the Packers, Lions, and even the Bears are playoff caliber, and the Eagles are looking to not just compete, but dominate at home. A player like Phillips is someone who can swing key moments in those tight games, someone who could turn a 3rd and long into a sack, a hurry, or a forced throw. That's exactly the kind of impact player that separates good teams from championship contenders. And the timing couldn't be better. The Eagles just had a bye week, moving up to the number 1 seed in the NFC, but with a tough schedule ahead, bolstering the pass rush was critical. Beyond the individual stats, the intangible is confidence. When a team knows it can rotate fresh, explosive pass rushers without losing effectiveness, that mentality spreads across the defense. It elevates everyone, creating a sense of inevitability for opposing quarterbacks. And for someone like Phillips, coming off injuries, this is the perfect environment to thrive. He's surrounded by seasoned veterans who can mentor him while he brings raw athleticism to the table. From a numbers standpoint, Phillips' recent performances show promise. While recovering from injury, he's already posted multiple pressures and sacks in recent weeks, proving that he's rounding back into form. The combination of his age, talent, and scheme familiarity makes him a rare mid-season acquisition. If he hits the ground running, he could very well become the best pass rusher on the Eagles roster, giving them a consistent edge that's been missing. The ripple effect doesn't stop at defense. A stronger pass rush influences the entire team. It allows the secondary to play tighter coverage, knowing that the quarterback is under pressure. It can also swing momentum in games, turning close contests into wins that might have otherwise slipped away. And when you're aiming for the Super Bowl, those moments add up. One key sack, one tip pass, one forced hurry can change the trajectory of a playoff run. Of course, fans are already speculating. Will the Eagles make another trade before the deadline? Howie Roseman has a history of moves that surprise even the most loyal followers. Since training camp, he's orchestrated 9 trades, each one improving the roster in different ways. This track record means no position is completely safe, no need is completely filled. The offensive line could still see upgrades, and tight end depth is always a consideration. But the message is clear. Philadelphia is all in for 2025. The front office isn't just patching holes. They're building a roster with championship aspirations, and every acquisition, from edge rushers to offensive reinforcements, fits into that blueprint. And while the focus now is on Phillips, the underlying strategy is bigger than one player. It's about constructing a team capable of sustaining excellence, with multiple pieces that can step up when called upon. From versatile pass rushers to offensive line depth, the Eagles are methodically preparing for every scenario the season could throw at them. Every move is calculated, every trade intentional, and the ripple effect of these additions will be felt well beyond the next game. While the defensive side of the ball is suddenly looking much more intimidating, Philadelphia's front office hasn't stopped thinking about offense. The Eagles know that championships aren't won by defense alone, and with every move Howie Roseman makes, there's a balance between shoring up weaknesses and maximizing depth across the roster. One area under the microscope is the offensive line. The current unit has had moments of brilliance, but there are spots where consistency is lacking. Tyler Steen has shown flashes, but he's not yet a cornerstone. And when you're facing elite pass rushers week after week, even small cracks can turn into game-changing plays against you. Enter the potential trade targets that have been circulating among Eagles insiders and fans alike. Guards and centers who can step in and elevate the line immediately are always in demand. And there are a few players who, if acquired, could transform not just the protection scheme, but the entire offensive rhythm. A player like Jackson Powers-Johnson, for instance, has the pedigree and versatility to contribute at guard or center. He dominated at the collegiate level, winning the Remington Trophy, and although his professional situation in Las Vegas hasn't allowed him to shine, the Eagles' environment is uniquely suited to get the best out of him. Pair him with Jeff Stoutland, and the confidence alone could bring out the player he was always meant to be. The Eagles' quarterback situation is stable, but protecting your signal caller is always the difference between playoff runs and early exits. The front office has repeatedly shown a willingness to invest in a line when opportunities arise, and a mid-season acquisition like this could be just what they need to solidify pass protection while simultaneously opening lanes for the run game. The added depth also allows for creative personnel packages, enabling the offense to mix in jumbo formations or spread concepts without sacrificing cohesion. The ability to rotate linemen, to keep fresh legs on the field against relentless defensive fronts, cannot be overstated. Beyond the line, tight end depth is another area where the Eagles could make a move. Brock Bowers has returned from injury and looks sharp, but having a backup who can contribute immediately in both blocking and receiving is invaluable. A player like Michael Mayer from Notre Dame brings versatility and athleticism that can fit into multiple roles, giving the Eagles flexibility to rotate personnel depending on the matchup. He can develop within the system this season, learning the nuances of the offense while providing reliable snaps when needed. Even a backup like David Andiku could become a situational weapon, especially in jumbo packages or in two tight end sets that require both run-blocking ability and a reliable pass-catching option. All of these potential acquisitions tie back to a single principle. Roseman wants a team that is not just competitive, but complete. Every position has depth, every rotation has talent, and every player is capable of contributing to a playoff run. The strategy is methodical. It's not about flashy headlines or high-profile signings. It's about building a roster that can withstand the wear and tear of a full NFL season while remaining capable of making a deep playoff push. Each trade, each acquisition, is a calculated step toward that goal. It's also worth noting that the Eagles' front office doesn't operate in a vacuum. Every move is measured against what the competition is doing in the NFC. Teams like the Packers and Lions are loaded with talent, and the Bears, while inconsistent, have shown they can rise to the occasion. By adding versatile offensive linemen or tight ends, the Eagles ensure they can match up physically against these teams, which becomes crucial in games where even a single misstep can determine home field advantage or playoff seeding. Every acquisition is about creating an edge in the matchups that matter most. And this is what makes watching the Eagles in 2025 so compelling. You see a team that isn't just reacting, but anticipating. They're planning for multiple scenarios simultaneously: injuries, matchups, and the physical toll of a long season. By addressing the offensive line and tight end positions now, they're not just preparing for the games immediately ahead. They're thinking 3, 4, 5 weeks down the line when the competition gets tougher and the stakes higher. Even with all these moves, there's still that element of unpredictability. Will another trade materialize before the deadline? Roseman has shown a penchant for striking at just the right moment, often when the rest of the league isn't looking. Since the start of training camp, the Eagles have already executed 9 trades, reshaping the roster in ways that keep fans and opponents alike guessing. The pattern is clear. When an opportunity presents itself to upgrade the team, no hesitation occurs. And with players like Phillips now in the fold, the defense is improved, the rotation deepened, and the offense has potential moves on the horizon to complement that. The synergy between defensive upgrades and potential offensive reinforcements is what makes this team dangerous. A dominant pass rush forces turnovers, pressures quarterbacks, and changes the way opponents approach their game plan. That in turn can make a more flexible and dynamic offense even more potent. When the Eagles can keep the quarterback upright, open lanes for their running game, and bring a pass rusher like Phillips to disrupt opponents' rhythm, the combination becomes a nightmare for anyone trying to play against them. It's not just about one player or one trade. It's about the domino effect that each move triggers across the team. Every snap, every rotation, every situational package is improved because of these strategic acquisitions. And while injuries and performance fluctuations are part of the NFL landscape, Philadelphia has positioned itself to weather those storms better than most. Depth, versatility, and proven talent across both lines of scrimmage create a foundation that is hard to beat in a 7-game stretch, let alone the playoffs. The Eagles' approach demonstrates a philosophy that blends immediate impact with long-term planning. You see it in the careful selection of players who fit the scheme, the attention to positional versatility, and the readiness to make bold moves when the opportunity arises. Phillips is a clear example of this, but the potential moves on the offensive line and at tight end show the same philosophy applied elsewhere. Philadelphia is not building for just one game or one season. They are constructing a team that can sustain success and compete at the highest level, regardless of circumstances. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. The Philadelphia Eagles locker room may be stirring with more than just post-game adrenaline. In a bombshell interview released earlier today, star wide receiver A.J. Brown didn't hold back, candidly revealing a growing frustration that could shake up the team's dynamics. "I'm tired of having to protect some people in here," Brown admitted, his words sending ripples across Eagles circles and social media alike. While he stopped short of naming names, insiders suggest this isn't just idle venting. Brown may be pointing to a deeper tension simmering behind the scenes. Sources close to the team hint that Brown's comments stem from what he perceives as inconsistent effort or off-field distractions from certain teammates. One anonymous source told our reporters, "AJ is all in on winning, but he's tired of carrying the vibe alone. It's like he's leading the charge and having to cover for others at the same time." Fans are already speculating on who might be at the center of Brown's ire, with rumors ranging from veteran stars to younger roster players struggling to find their footing. The timing of this revelation is particularly intriguing. The Eagles are in a critical stretch of the season, with playoff implications looming and expectations higher than ever. Brown's candidness could be a wake-up call for the team or a spark for locker room tension. Coaches are reportedly working behind closed doors to manage morale, though they've declined to comment publicly on Brown's statements. Meanwhile, sports analysts are already weighing in, suggesting that Brown's frustration could lead to a shakeup in chemistry, play calling, or even off-season personnel decisions. One analyst noted, "When a player of Brown's caliber speaks like this, it's rarely just about words. It's about action, accountability, and sometimes it forces change." Whether this is a momentary venting session or the tip of a larger iceberg remains to be seen. For now, Eagles fans are left buzzing with speculation, watching closely to see if this star receiver's honesty will inspire a turnaround or expose cracks in a locker room foundation. One thing is certain: in Philadelphia, where passion runs deep, A.J. Brown's words are not fading quietly. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.